Hey guys, it is Ashley, and I gotta admit, I am super excited and almost jittery about what I am about to share with you today. So, if you follow along on my journey, I've been talking a lot about challenges. I just recently released a book called Awaken Your Power to Manifest. Basically, what I want to share today is a revelation I've been having and a journey I've been doing, and something that has kind of really blown my mind on how the mind body connection really works. And so today we are diving headfirst into opening your awareness to the mind body uplevel experiment, better known as the mind body revolution. And this is a concept that was literally like downloaded to me. And I am just so blown away by what I have discovered, what I have been shown, and most importantly, the results that I have been getting with this experiment. So let's dive in. So I want to just have a conversation with you, a really almost unprofessional, just look behind the scenes of what's been occurring and what I feel personally I've been discovering and why I feel it's so important. So let's dive in. So a couple of days ago, it was right around the 222 palindrome date, I received a message that was kind of just completely just downloaded to me. And it was my higher self saying, the mind body revolution is here. You need to make that a part of your brand. You need to start talking about this louder. And this all occurred because I was diving into human design. And I am not really well versed on human design. I have just barely tipped the surface of understanding human design. But the main thing that came through was that I'm a manifester and I initiate and I'm supposed to make bold decisions and I'm supposed to be unapologetic. And meanwhile, what I was doing before I found human design, I was working on something called the mind body uplevel experiment. And this is something that came through to me by understanding how to connect fitness to the mind body connection. And what I was discovering is a lot of people on the fitness journey have 90-day transformations. And this is very common because we are talking about how habits are built and we are talking about how muscles are built. You're not going to build a muscle in like a week. That's like, it's not really going to work. And instead, what normally occurs is you want to witness the 30, 60, and 90-day transformation, right? So I was thinking about this concept and how a lot in fitness we are taught, it's about the journey, it's about the transformation, it's about witnessing the journey and the transformation. And I was thinking about starting my Pilates routine again. And I was realizing really quickly that I needed a mindset routine to help my Pilates habit because I noticed there was a lot of inconsistency, there was a lot of procrastination, there was a lot of I don't want to, I should do it, I can't do it, I need to do it, and there was a lot of excuses. And so I committed myself to creating a 90-day journey towards understanding the mind-body connection. And then what I started to do is I compared it to what I was doing in my manifestation practices and my mindset work. And then I combined that with what I already discovered in another challenge of mine called the Reconnect to Soul Challenge. And what I discovered is this incredibly powerful system on accident on how we can use the mind-body connection with our goals and intentions. So we are rapidly creating massive perspective shifts. And what I discovered with this process is really looking at how can we connect the mind to the body in a systematic way where we are building habit, sustaining habit, and creating it into our identity. Okay, are you with me so far? So what I discovered here is I started to look for a planner to help me with my Pilates habit. And I started to look for law of attraction planners. And what I discovered is no one had what I wanted. And they were all just kind of loosely based on affirmations or goal setting. And it was just kind of this moment where I'm just like, well, this is retarded. I'm just going to make my own. And I'm just going to stop looking for the magic journal to do this. And instead, I'm just going to create my own. And so I decided to combine what was my fitness journey into my mindset journey into a combination of my spiritual planner. So I basically created a spiritual planner and a journal that's like a hybrid together. And what I ended up establishing with this was understanding that the mind and the body connect to instill magnetism through our habits. And what I ended up doing is I noticed that what naturally occurred from this is suddenly I was way more committed. Suddenly I was way more in action. And I was also in a space where I was really watching my energy. And that's what allowed me to connect to the human design. Is I was starting to watch my energetics. Then I started to look at my energetics from the human design viewpoint. And then what inevitably ended up happening is I started having like a windfall occur from just using this concept. So what is the mind-body up-level experiment? Okay, so let's take you back a little. So the mind-body up-level experiment is a 90-day journey to literally work with the mind-body connection to witness your personal transformation over the course of 90 days. Now, okay, if you don't want to do a full 90 days, you could do 30, you could do 60, you could do 90, whatever you prefer. But the whole concept is to really look at and ask yourself, how can I witness my own personal shifts and transformations? Because when we're in the space of doing this, we create rapid awareness with our minds. And what naturally occurs from this is we are activating our magnetism at a rapid rate. And what I began to see with this process is when I connect the mind to the body, there was something that occurred that I didn't necessarily need all of the steps of like the different healing tools. I didn't need all of this extra stuff. And while I've done a lot of inner work on myself personally, I didn't feel for this challenge in this experiment that it was necessary. I mean, I feel like you can do this in tandem with healing work and it would probably create amazing, profound results. But I felt like for what I was doing here, I chose to not do that. So what I basically did is we are instilling the mind-body connection. So the mind-body connection works like this. The mind connects to the body, connects to the spirit, connects to the habits, connects to the actions, and they are all free-flowing as one. So the mind connects to the body, which means your thoughts connect to your beliefs. Your beliefs create your habits. Your habits are created from your beliefs. Your beliefs instill those thoughts that you keep thinking. Your thoughts create a magnetism force from your beliefs. Your thoughts connect to your beliefs. Once you establish those thoughts into beliefs, now you instill the energy of the feeling. The feeling translates into the actions you take. The actions you take translate into the habits you create. The habits you create instill the behaviors and the habitual behaviors and the emotional triggers you will establish. Once you establish the emotional triggers and the habits, then you will start to see a compound effect occurring with your results. So what I learned from this process of working with the mind-body connection is working with my alignment instilled a potent way to work my magnetism with my habits, my goals, and my intentions I was setting. And granted, I was just doing this for Pilates. So to backtrack, the mind-body connection is where they are working as one. So a lot of teachings only work with the mind. And this is where a lot of us fall into inconsistency and we don't actually heal something. And then we try to run back to the other process because we feel like we haven't actually healed something. And we are in the loop repeating the pattern because we haven't actually healed anything. We're trying to work with only the conscious mind, not the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind lives in the body, Well, the mind is the conscious mind. So we have the ego, right? And then the body is basically a receptive vehicle for the information that the mind is telling it. Okay. So the mind-body connection is dominated around, your spirit, your soul, your intuition. So what I've found, and this is a quote that has really stood the test of time with me, it has stood on my journey since I was given it. One of my coaches a long time ago, who works with the chakras and she worked with energetics, she said that you have to realize that the mind cannot believe if the feeling doesn't live in the body. So in other words, when we're only working with the mind, we cut off the body. And this is why we have that mind-body disconnect occurring. And the mind-body disconnect is what stops your results. Because, and I say this in tremendous depth in the Soul Line Manifesting Circle, what happens is the mind disconnects from the body, so the subconscious mind takes over and it reverts back to the mind. So you're only working with the conscious mind in these healings or rituals or just intention settings. And you have to realize that you are competing against the subconscious mind, which has years and years of conditioning, along with you're fighting with your ego because your mind is connected to your ego. So not only do you have a ton of conditioning, but you're also fighting with the ego to create change. This is the slow path. This is the path where we are disconnected from the body and we're not working with the energetics of the body, which naturally activates our magnetism, which makes goal setting, intention setting, and manifesting 1,000 times easier. So what I've learned is when we create the mind-body connection, we are working with all parts of ourselves. So to get back to what I was saying, the mind-body up-level experiment is about learning to work with the mind and the body. Now, how do we do that? So here's the thing. The mind-body up-level experiment is about learning to create intentions to work with the mind and the body. Now, why is this important? Well, I want you to consider this. When you disconnect from the mind, or from the body, what naturally occurs is you're in a fight, flight, freeze response. So this is why you don't take the action. This is why you freeze and overwhelm. This is why you don't instill the new habit, because you are dominated by the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is receptive and allows the information. It is accepting of the information you give it. But if you're only giving it what this conscious mind is saying, which is the years and years of conditioning that you have instilled, then you're only going to get those results because you are not working with the body to create new results. When we work with the body, we are now creating the mind-body connection, which allows natural magnetism to occur. Now, I'm waving magnetism around like crazy. So if you've never heard of magnetism, magnetism is basically our attraction power. It's the law of attraction in action. It's your reticular activating system in action for the sciencey people out there. It's the reticular activating system in action. It's your alignment in action. It's the magnetism that is dominated around your intuition and creating the magnetism for you to be pulled into action. So when we learn how to work with that, that's what the law of attraction actually is. It's not some wishy-washy vision board, let's wish on stars and meditate and sing Kumbaya. It is not like that at all. It is about reprogramming your mind and instilling new habits through the compound effect. So the mind-body up-level experiment is about learning to create this in motion, so you are now on a mission to witness the transformation occurring over the course of 90 days. So why is this important? Well, it's important because you have to understand that a lot of the times we don't get results because we're not connecting the mind and the body together. And this is one of the hugest realizations I've had. And the more you understand that when you work with the mind-body connection, it becomes tremendously easier because you're working with your alignment, your energetic levels, your magnetism, and basically your entire body makeup, because now you're working with the subconscious mind versus going against the subconscious mind. So that is why when you are in a fight, flight, freeze response, what is naturally occurring is you're fighting with the mind. And because you're fighting with the mind, you're refusing to accept change. So it's important to connect the mind to the body because you want to create the mind-body connection to create ease and flow to take the action you need to take. So I talked a lot about this in the Reconnect the Soul Challenge, but what I started to do is I started to create it on steroids with what I'm about to show you. So for instance, let's take my Pilates habit. So what I began to notice is when I write intentions down for Pilates, I am more likely to take the action when I work the system I'm about to share with you. And I notice this happens automatically because I am telling the subconscious through autosuggestion what I desire. And then I am embodying the person who already has the desire. So naturally, I am propelled into the right actions and the right habits and the right opportunities and the right possibilities because I am working with my natural sense of alignment and magnetism. And why this is important is, as you can see, this is the reason why people don't lose weight. This is the reason why we stay in debt. This is the reason why we stay in a bad habit, is we're not actually working with the body. So welcoming in the mind-body revolution. So why 90 days? Okay, why is 90 days important? Well, it takes 28 days to create a habit, supposedly. We don't really know for certain. It's kind of like there's a time frame between 21 days, 28 days, 36 days. In that time frame, we create a habit. We sustain it into our habits. Now, if you think about a habit, I'm sure you all have like a habit of your bedtime ritual, or brushing your teeth before you go to bed, or your daily coffee or tea, or whatever is your already established habit. I want you to think of that, okay? Now look at that habit and look at how automatic it is. Look at how habitual it is. Look at your consistent like behavior around that. It's like boom, 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 done. And sometimes, I feel like when I'm tired, I like barely even notice I'm brushing my teeth because it's such a habit. And so when you think about it, how can you recreate that for what you want? Because that will change your life. Because now you're creating a habit towards your manifestation, towards your goal, towards your intention, and you're working it like a muscle in your brain. So what are we doing here? We are working the muscles of our brains. We are creating boot camp for our minds. Because when we do that on a 30, 60, 90-day basis, we are instilling a habit, so we are no longer wavering. And I set the intention, oh, it didn't show up. Crap. And instead, we're working with the body to create magnetism, to create attraction, and that attraction changes your life because you're creating habits consciously. This is mind-blowing to me. I want to share this with as many people who will listen because it is so fucking powerful. And the more you work the system, the easier the habit becomes. And that's the other thing that's important to establish. So right when we disconnect the mind from the body, what we notice is we fall into the fight, flight, freeze response. So what happens when we work with the body is we now have created safety in the body. And because of that, we are more likely to take the action. We are more likely to instill the habit. We are more likely to be projected into what we want because we're now working with the body. Whereas before we weren't. Before we were still trying to compete with the ego, and the ego is like, I don't think so. This is crazy. Okay, so by now I hope you have a framework. If you have any questions at all, please drop them in the comments to let me know. Let's dive in. So who is this for? This is for anyone who is seriously ready for change. This is for anyone who is really committed and is willing to allow themselves to enter a state of consistency with watching their energetics and looking at their goals and their intentions. This is not for a person who doesn't want to commit, and this isn't for a person who isn't willing to take 20 minutes to write, basically. And because all you need is a journal and the pamphlet I'm going to give you. And that's all you need. The rest is up to you. The rest is very more based on your personal sense of alignment. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So who is this for? Is the person who is ready for change, the person who is ready to get committed, and the person who is ready to really be in the space of persistency and consistency. Now, I'm sure many are like, well, do I really have to write the whole 7 days? Or do I really have to do this for 7 days straight? Boom, 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 boom. And see, that's the thing here. This is a journey. If you feel you would prefer to do 5 days, then do 5 days. If you prefer that you only have time for 4 days, do 4 days. I want you to make this about you. This is your alignment. We are not a one-size-fits-all paradigm. We are all different. We all have different energy levels. We all have different human designs. We all have different ways that we have a routine set in our lives. We also may have other obligations in our lives, such as work or children or family or caregivers or whatever is going on in your life. I completely understand. So I want you to think about this in terms of you can make this about you. This is about you. And this is about your alignment and finding what suits you. So when it comes to really looking at who is this for, it's for someone who is willing to just be committed, have an open mind, and is willing to do the work. If you're that person, then you're in the right place, because I am an energy scientist. And I like to change concepts and I like to experiment on different concepts. So this is an experiment for your energy and working the mind. And what we're basically doing is, instead of working a muscle, we're working our mind. And boot camping the mind creates autosuggestion, and this changes how the body is responding. Now, this is very safe to do. You are the one in control. You are the one that is driving the car. And the more you get that and see that, it helps you get that when you set intentions. And I created a really good video on intentions. When you set intentions, you will fully understand that you are the one that is driving the car, and you decide where you get to go, and you decide how many days you want to do, and you decide what is your best consistency, and you decide what is your best alignment. This is not a one size fits all. And I want you to know that before you even attempt to do 7 days. You might even not want to be crazy and do 90 days like me. Maybe you want to do 30s and just dip your toes in. Maybe you just want to do 21 days. So the other thing I want to touch on before we dive into the ritual is we have to realize that we're establishing a habit. Now, a habit takes approximately 28 to 30 days to really lock in. So you will realize right away that there will be resistance between the first 4 weeks because you are establishing a habit. Now, once the habit is established, then it starts to become a lot easier, and you'll find your own flow and your own alignment in the process. But do not be afraid to realize that in the beginning of getting started, there probably will be some ego thoughts. There will be some resistance. There will be a moment of change and accepting change. There will be also moments of fully letting go. And that's the thing and the beauty. And so who else this is for is anyone who has an open mind and is willing to accept change and is ready for change. Okay, are you with me? All right, welcome to the Mind Body Uplevel Experiment, your personal 90-day journey of witnessing your transformation. Are you ready? Okay, so how do we do this? So here's the thing. I have learned to simplify this process. So it is, if you really wanted to get fully committed to yourself, you could probably get this done within 20 minutes. And I kid you not. When I'm not like like all over the place, I can literally get this done in 10 to 15 minutes because I'm really consistent with writing. Now, if you don't want to write, I'm concerned that I'm not for sure if this can be done without writing, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, maybe you could try audios, maybe you could talk to yourself. I really don't know how you could do it without writing. So the whole concept is what you're going to do is you're going to, over the course of the 90 days, the journey, we're pumping up our minds. We're going to do a ritual every day or 5 days if you want. If you want to have some rest days, I fully understand that, because there was a couple of days in the beginning I'm just like, I really just need a break. So I get that if you're just starting and you're new to this. So what you want to do is you're going to set an intention. So let me enter you into the process. So I'm just going to go over the process, and then we're going to talk in depth about the process. And then I'll see, just if you have any questions at all, just drop them below and we'll just take it from there. Okay, this is the process. We could call it the 3-step up level. I don't know. I haven't came up with a good title yet. This is a draft. So the 3-step up level. We have setting intentions. This is a 3-step process. Okay, so what you will do is, so for instance, say if I do my ritual in the morning, which is what I do. So I would set my intentions for the day. I would then, so I set my affirmations, okay? If you're not familiar with the term intentions, I would set my affirmations for the day. Then in step 2, I would detox my doubt and disprove why I can't have it. So I call this detox and disprove your doubt. So step 2 is detox and disprove your doubt. The 3rd step is embody your truth of the affirmation. So step 3 is you take that affirmation, you disprove your doubt, and step 3, now I embody the person who already has the affirmation. So the 3-step process is set your intention, detox your doubt. I just flicked you guys off. Detox. We are all about fun and games here. Okay. Okay. Detox your doubt and embody in the now. Then, once you do that, throughout the day or right away, you're going to set up your spiritual planner. And I'm going to have a little sheet where we can go through this in depth and give you kind of a zoomed version. So, and then we'll go through the spiritual planner. Now for this is kind of optional. You don't have to be as crazy and meticulous as I am, but you can just play along whatever suits your personal lifestyle. I really want this to be free flow, open, find what works for you. Okay. So what the Mind Body Up Level planner is. This is not a traditional planner. Like I said, this is like a journal spiritual planner hybrid. So what I have is your mantra, your focus goal, recording your energy levels, how you desire to feel for the day, your daily tasks that you need to get done, your reflection and notes that you just noticed throughout the day, your movement for your body ritual is on the bottom with checklists. And then we have mind body rituals, which is a big component of the entire concept of the Mind Body Up Level. And then we also have water intake because, it's good to watch your water. And then we have personal pleasures, which is your self-care and keeping track of your self-care. And then we also have, in the very center, is weekly goals. And I want to talk about this one particularly because this is important. When you reinforce your weekly goals, you will start to notice a shift naturally occur because you are constantly refocusing on them. And it's going to help you take action. And so what I've noticed is when I reinforce my weekly goals, they're constantly at the back of my mind and I have to I have to take care of them. Like it's just like a thing of the brain. So this is the process. And finally, the other part is really looking into the mind body rituals. So you do the mindset work, and then you can do mind body rituals alongside it. Now, this I want to say is optional, because what I've found so far is if I just do the mindset work, the body work starts to take care of itself. But I do think it's important to reinforce it. So, like I said, set intentions, detox your doubt, and embody in the now. And we're going to go into the depth in a minute. So, then you record your energy levels and you record how you desire to feel. So basically what this is doing is this is creating awareness on your energy. And so this is how you're going to track your progress and also how you're going to track your energy. And this will show you what are the days that you're really really inconsistent, or you just don't want to show up, or what are the days where you're noticing your energy drop and you need to rest. This will help create intense energetic awareness to bring in that observer consciousness, so you're not reactive to the concepts that are coming up. This creates radical awareness. Now, the mind body rituals is just kind of an optional thing. So for instance, we have 3 goals we're going to work on. If you want to do less, that's fine. So I think 3 is a good because, I'm all about 3s. So what you can do is you could have a goal or intention for your mind. You can have a goal and intention for your body, and you can have a goal and intention for your energetics. So your soul. And what you can do with this is you can create mind-body rituals. So you have a ritual for your mind, you have a ritual for your body, and you have a ritual for your soul. Personally, I feel like the soul ritual is kind of like optional. It's kind of like if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it. And so you have a ritual for your mind, and then you have a ritual for your body. So to summarize, what you would do is you would do your 3-step process of the mindset work. Then you would have your chart to watch your energy. And then throughout the day or throughout the week, you're working on your mind-body rituals. So personally, what I've found is I work on the mind rituals. That's literally what I'm doing when I do my steps of set intentions, detox the doubt, embodying the now. And then what I do for the body rituals for me is a combination of nourishing my body and working on my exercise. So like I said, when the mind connects to the body and we drop into the body, we start to dissipate the fight, flight, freeze response, which makes us less reactive. And so when we create mind-body connection, we're doing mind rituals alongside body rituals. Now we're like really primed and like in the flow of life. And so the challenge here is to connect the mind rituals and the body rituals. You can do soul rituals. So mind rituals can include your journaling practice that you're going to do with your set intentions. And then your body rituals is more like your movement practice. So you get into the body. So that's what it means to really be in the embodiment. We're getting into the body. And then your 3rd ritual would be the soul rituals. So that could be like meditation, visualization, reading the Bible, whatever suits you. And what really looking into this from a place of your authentic alignment. Now you got a gist of the framework. So now we're going to break this down really simply. So step 1, set intentions. So this is going to be present tense intentions of what you desire to create change. So for instance, what are your 3 goals you desire to work on? Okay, so I'll just share mine. So my 3 goals were Pilates, consistent systems in my business, and house renovations. And so that was a money goal. And what I've done with those is you take your 3 goals and now you're going to set intentions around them or anything surrounding them. So I want you to think about, what do you need that would support this goal? What would be an intention that would help you support this goal? And I have an intention setting video with full breakdown that's going to come out next week. So just to give you like a brief overview, you want it to be present tense. You want to use words that are in the present. So, and you also want to focus on the end result. So this would look like, I already have, I am so grateful and happy that now, I believe and know, I choose to believe that blank is possible. So instead, setting intentions around really getting clear on what your desired goal is. Now, you do not need to state the same affirmation and the same intention every single day. Instead, allow yourself to be in stream of consciousness and free flow with whatever comes up for you. Okay. I also have an intention setting guidebook I'm going to drop. That way you can just get the crash course on intention setting and you will be primed and ready for the next step. All right. So step 2 is to detox your doubt. This is detox the doubt with encouragement. So one of the hugest ways we can quickly shift is we start to change our perspective. So detox your doubt is going to be about detox the affirmation and disprove why you believe you can't have it. So this is perspective shifts. What we want to do is we want to quickly create a perspective shift. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the affirmations you just created, and you only have to do about 1 page, 2 page. Don't like go crazy unless you want to. And what you're doing is you're going to look for, well, where do I feel doubt? Where do I feel discouragement? Where do I feel that this isn't going to happen for me? Where do I feel that I'm fully unworthy of this? Where do I feel that it's just not going to happen? It's impossible. I want you to look at what is the resistance occurring. And then what I want you to do is I want you to look at, well, how can I change this into a space of empowerment? How can I disprove this doubt with a sense of encouragement? So how can I switch it so that instead I write down my concerns, this is what I'm concerned about, but actually, how is this possible? So how could this be possible for me? Is there ways I can look at this differently? Is there ways I could change the way I'm looking at this? And so what you start to do is you look at your concerns and then you think about, well, is this true? Is this actually true? Is there a way I could disprove this? Is there a way that I could look at this differently? Is there a way I could change my mind and start to think about, well, how could this be true? How could I make this be more in alignment with who I am? And so what naturally occurs from that is in step 2, you start to look at, well, how can I encourage myself that it is possible? So you write down your encouragement around, well, if this was possible, what would I start to do differently? And what would I start to think? And so you kind of do like a brain dump here. So we have the intention, then we have, these are my doubts and insecurities. And then you start to encourage yourself towards, well, obviously this is all occurring, but how could I look at this differently? And then in the third step, we rapidly shift again. And we look at, well, if I was already this person who embodied this affirmation, what would I believe and say differently? So the perspective shift is like boom, boom, boom. And it will get easier the more you practice it. And what you do is now you look at, well, if I was already this person who embodied this affirmation, what would I see and believe differently? And so you're kind of boom, boom, boom. And then now from that space, you will be given information, you'll be given clarity, you'll be given whatever comes through you. And what naturally occurs is now you have activated your magnetism. So in this space, now you can go do your body ritual, you could go do whatever you want to do today, you can, do whatever and go about your life. And what I naturally find occurs from this is, well, and then also habit track. But once you habit track and you start to become aware of this, it starts to become easier. And what naturally occurs is you're activating your magnetism. And through this simple ritual of working with the mind-body connection, you have now established the right energy. Okay, so let's dive into a little bit of the mind-body ritual. So for instance, we have our 3-step framework, okay? And then you would have your mind ritual, which you already have established. That is your 3-step framework. So next is your body. So now we have body rituals. And I want to touch on this because, maybe if you have like reduced mobility, I know I have a lot of different viewers out there all around the world. It's amazing. And maybe what if you can't have exercise? What if you are limited in exercise? Well, you don't have to do exercise. You can focus on health. You could focus on nourishing your body more. Maybe that's more like consistent showers. Maybe that's more like taking care of self-care. Maybe it's more looking into how you could just reconnect your body in a way of listening to your body, for instance. So you can kind of think outside the box here, okay? So the body rituals are really about creating movement. You want to create movement with your energy and nourish your body because this creates body awareness. This is a concept I talk about in all of my courses. And basically, body awareness creates really, really potent present energy. Now, when we're in a state of our body awareness, we can really instill like our magnetism and our alignment because we're really dropped into our body. We're present. We're in the now. We're present. We're in the power of now. And what occurs is we have our particular body ritual that we can do 5 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. But what I want you to do is I just want you to start bringing more body awareness. So the mind body ritual is about establishing movement medicine in your body to nourish your body, bring in body awareness, listen to your body more, listen to your energetics. And so what we're doing is we're really kind of creating this massive container of energetic awareness and mindfulness in our bodies. So for instance, movement medicine could include yoga, exercise, working out, going to the gym, house chores, taking daily walks. It could include nourishing your body, having healthy rituals for your body. It could include self-care. It could also include eating better foods. It could include recipes and meal plans. It could include just working on more healthy eating. The possibilities are endless. I want you to explore this and see what you come up with. So for instance, for me, I used to do yoga as a body ritual. So now I'm kind of bored with yoga personally. So I'm doing Pilates, and then I'm going to also work on more healthy eating and smoothies and stuff like that. So it's different for everyone. Okay, so what about where? So this will be hosted on YouTube as a reoccurring series where we can learn more about the process. I'm going to go deep into a series on diving into detoxing your doubt and learning about embodiment. And so throughout the progress of my own journey, I'm going to share a behind the scenes clip of my own progress and what insights and information that's been come through me. And then I'm going to share more on how we can go in depth into some of these components so you have a really in-depth understanding of the mind-body connection. Where this is going to be hosted is going to be YouTube and the Awakened Network community space. So this is my community network space that will be hosted outside of social media. So this is on Mighty Networks. It is a personal community. It is a private space. You can download it onto your phone. You can also get an app. And what we're going to do is we're going to create weekly check-ins to keep ourselves accountable because accountability keeps us in integrity. And when we do this, we can also have weekly check-ins. I could have like a monthly email that goes out. The possibilities are endless here. It is about the mind-body up-level experiment and learning how to boot camp our minds so we can personally be a magnet to magic. And when we do this, we can understand our energy in a totally new light while also really simplifying the process to work with the mind and the body. Okay, so I know this was a long video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me because I know this was a lot of information. If you stayed until the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are ready to do this journey with me, I am so pumped. I am so ready. I am personally on day 11, but I am alongside of you and this is going to be fun. This is going to be like mind-blowing. And it's just such a unique way where we can come together as a community and really share our own progress, share our own transformation, witness the transformation, watch our own personal 30, 60, 90-day journey unfold, and really allow ourselves to be in the energy of present awareness and mind-body connection and truly create magic and manifestation and mindset shifts and perspective shifts. And I am just so here for it. All right. So in closing, a few things I want to touch on. If you need more help, I do suggest the Awaken Your Power to Manifest, which is the book I just created. If you need more of like a guided journey, I do suggest that. I will also be releasing a mini guide that goes alongside this in case you have any questions. So that will be down below where you can sign up for the email and you can sign up to be part of the monthly emails. And what else is going on is I will have the weekly check-ins going on in the Facebook group. And I think that is it. Oh, and most importantly, I will have the template for the spiritual planner and give you a breakdown of everything. So, are you ready to join me? Are you excited? Are you pumped? Does it feel overwhelming? Does it feel kind of weird? I would love to hear your thoughts, your concerns, your comments, all below. Subscribe, stay tuned, give this a thumbs up if you're pumped and excited. Oh, and also, if you feel anyone else would benefit from this information, who would love to do this experiment alongside of you, who you know would like really tremendously benefit from this information, please do not hesitate to share this. Share the opt-in, share the email, not the email, not the email, the link for this video. And I'm like so pumped. Okay. I am so proud of us. I'm so excited for this. Yes, everything is completely free. I just don't even know why, but Spirit is just like really loud about this. I want to share this. I want to share this. I want to share this. So if you are here for this and you are ready to do this, this will be a new YouTube series over the course of the month. And we are going to create some rapid perspective shifts with the mind-body up level. So welcome to the journey. Okay, so here's some common questions I also received that I want to just touch on really briefly. So one of the questions was, what exactly do we do? So let's just do a quick summary. So basically, you're doing mind-body rituals. And we're doing this as the mind-body up-level experiment. So you will do your mind ritual as you set intentions, you detox your doubt, and you embody your affirmation in the now, as if you already are the person who's embodying the affirmation as truth, okay? That's your mind ritual. Your body ritual is up to you. The body ritual could be movement. It could be nourishing your body. It could be more self-care. I want you to play with this. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to ponder, how do you nurture your body? Do you think about your body in terms of like, do you bring awareness to your body? Think about maybe there's an exercise routine you're just inconsistent with that you want to get better at. Maybe there's some, maybe you want to work on your healthy eating plan, or maybe you want to work on your self-care ritual. I want you to explore this from a lens of movement and nourishing your body. Those are the main components, okay? Now for soul rituals, this is kind of like your extra credit, okay? So if you want to do extra credit and do a soul ritual, or maybe you already have soul rituals, you could do rituals involving connecting to higher self. So this can look different for many people. This could look like meditation, visualization, spiritual prayer. This could look like Bible reading. This could look like questions to higher self, communicating with spirit. It could look like daily questions to higher self. It could look like tarot cards. It could look like witchy stuff. Find what suits you, and that's your extra credit. So finally, for the next question, it was, I don't know what goals to go after. Okay, so for that, I want you to consider this. If you don't know what goals to go after, you can do one of two things. You can either make this more about mental goals, like it could be more immaterial goals. This could be like working on getting better at being kinder to yourself. This could look at working on encouraging yourself more. Or instead of doing immaterial goals, you could also do this. If I did already know what I wanted to change, it would be this. and just see what comes up, because that will get rid of the monkey chatter that's saying, well, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. And then instead you're going, but if I did know what I want, what would I want to change? Because there's more than likely, I mean, we're all meant to change. We're all meant to evolve. We're all meant to try on new things. So the fact that if you're saying that you don't know what you want, you don't know what goals to go after, that's just the mind playing a trick on you. And chances are there's something in your life you might want to change. There might be something that you want to shift. There might be something that's just like coming up, but you won't really allow yourself to accept it, or even it's possible that you might not even allow yourself to have it, because maybe it could be anything. It could be you put yourself last. It could be that you don't always think about it. It could be that there's so much mind chatter that it's the last thing you think about. It could also be beliefs around desire, where desire is bad, desire is wrong. So invite yourself to kind of explore that and to explore that prompt. Finally, another one I want to touch on, because I think this is important, especially as a mama, is how do I manage my time with it? So now this is up to you. I suggest if you have a hard time with time management, you either make it into a date with yourself and you stay committed to that date as if you would show up for a date, and you also create a time, create a place, create a time of the day, and make sure you show up, and then tell yourself how many days you're going to show up for. So it'd be just like if you're starting an exercise routine. You're going to do it for X amount of days. You're going to do it at X amount of time. You're going to do it for X, it's the same concept. You want to make it into a deadline with yourself because it makes it more real and you're not wishy-washy with it. The other thing I suggest is I am a huge fan of phone reminders. So I like to use Google Calendar. You can use whatever calendar system you like, but you can create phone reminders in your phone so that it go off at a particular time, so you do the work and so you actually show up for the mind body ritual. And that is one thing you can do. You could also do it for the mind ritual and the body ritual if you're really committed and you want to stay focused and stay inspired with doing this. You might want to instill something that helps you build the habit. So that's one thing I do recommend. The other thing I do know is if you have a hard time with time, it may be possible that you want to do this ritual at night. It could also be, instead of doing it early in the morning, if you have like a heavy like morning ritual and you like immediately just go to work or something, then I invite you to explore where do you have free time to do this if you're really committed to the process. So I invite you to explore that as well. So that's the main points that I have heard so far. If you have more questions, I will definitely address them. All right, so I am so excited for us. This is going to be amazing. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Let's get started.